awards watchers. I'm Gold Derby senior editor Daniel Montgomery here with my fellow editor Marcus James Dixon and Tariq Khan, who contributes to us as well, his brilliant insights to goldderby.com. We're here to talk about the Golden Globes. Specifically, we're going to talk about the TV categories, which, these Golden Globes will be handed out on January 7th. So they're right around the corner. And so I think I'll just get us started. Let's talk about best drama series. Is that a foregone conclusion that Succession will win it? Let me just say that, the nominees are Succession, The Last of Us, The Crown, The Diplomat, The Morning Show, and 1923. What do you think, Tariq?
Okay, well, Happy New Year to both of you, Daniel and Marcus. James, great to see you both. So it seems like Succession is probably too big to ignore. Now, there is often this phenomenon, we have the Globes, where they like to go with a hot new show. So if by chance they want to put some new blood, into the category, I mean, could they go with The Last of Us? Seems not impossible. But I would say that Succession, being the phenomena that it's been, that it's hard not to give it this big farewell hug, if you will. So that's why I think it seems pretty safe.
How about you, Marcus?
Yeah, I think Succession is really safe in this category and a couple more, which we will talk about later. If there is an upset, though, I'm looking at the past list of winners. The Crown has won this twice. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that the Crown will win. This is its goodbye season. Same with Succession, of course. They're both ending this year. But I mean, it's too big to ignore Succession. It just went out with a huge bang. Everyone loved it. I think it's one of the easiest calls of the night, knock on wood.
Famous last word.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting, though, as Tariq was saying, that the Golden Globes have tended to go with the hot new show. But of course, we are also dealing with a brand new Golden Globes, the Golden Globes Association instead of the old Hollywood Foreign Press Association. There are hundreds of voters as opposed to just under 100 who used to make up the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. So we're going to be learning this year as well if some of our same assumptions and some of the same trends apply to this new group. I think, though, Succession, under the old voting body, under the new voting body, I think it's pretty safe too. So let's talk about
I have a trivia question for you guys.
Okay.
If Succession wins, this will be its third time. That will tie it with the all-time record in this category. Two other shows have won 3 times. Do you know what those are?
Sopranos?
No, not Sopranos.
I'm gonna guess the X-Files.
Yes.
Okay, I remember that winning a lot in even though it didn't get the Emmys.
And Mad Men.
Oh, of course.
Yes. So there you go. So that's your daily Golden Globes trivia.
Nice.
So let's get to some races that might be a little bit more contentious between the three of us. Let's start with TV drama actor, where the nominees are. You've got 3 from Succession: Kieran Culkin, Jeremy Strong, and Brian Cox. Plus, you've got Pedro Pascal from The Last of Us, Dominic West from The Crown, and Gary Oldman from Slow Horses. Now I believe our front runner in our odds is Kieran Culkin. I'm predicting that the 3 Succession men is just too many, and there's not enough consensus necessarily around which one should get it. Although, Kieran, does seem to be the fans' choice of the 3 for this past season. But I'm going Pedro. He's again under the hot new thing. It's the brand new show. It got all the nominations it basically could have gotten. It didn't really have any major supporting players other than guest stars. I think Pedro Pascal will win to represent the show and to represent what a big year he had. He's sort of been the internet's favorite person for 2023. So what do you think, Marcus?
I would love Pedro to win this. If I was a voter, I would vote for him. But I just feel like it's Kieran Culkin's time. He's been nominated 3 times before in supporting. He lost to Ben Whishaw, Stellan Skarsgård, and Oh Young-soo. And so how fitting would it be now that he's in lead that he finally wins? Like, talk about a huge promotion. And I mean, you're right, there could be a vote split, but the other two have already won the lead category. Jeremy Strong won in 2021, Brian Cox won in 2019. So if there's any voters out there who want to give it to a lead Succession actor, I'm hoping they give it to the one that hasn't won yet before. So that's my pick. Kieran's my pick, but my heart is with Pedro Pascal.
What do you think, Terry?
Yeah, Daniel, I'm with you. I think it's Pedro Pascal. I think that the Globes love to go with the hot, new star. He's, big right now. He's international. That has appeal to them. They're, of course, mostly international voters, international journalists, and he's the bigger star here right now. I think so. I think it's too hard for him to overlook him. I think Kieran Culkin, he's just not quite in the same league as Pedro Pascal is right now. He's not as sexy of a choice, if you will, and so I think that hurts him. Plus, of course, the Succession split. And also, The Last of Us did pretty well with nominations. It's in for Best TV, series, drama. It's in for Best Actress for Bella Ramsey. This is the chance to give The Last of Us a major award. So I think actually also signs actually point to Pedro pulling off, an upset, and he'll give a great speech. It'll be a great moment, and I think that they'll look forward to that.
The next up, we've got TV drama actress. The nominees are just one from Succession here. We've got Sarah Snook. And then you've got Kerry Russell from The Diplomat, Bella Ramsey from The Last of Us, Imelda Staunton from The Crown, Emma Stone from The Curse, and Helen Mirren from 1923. I went back and forth in this category personally, but I will reveal who I'm predicting and who I was torn between. Actually, I want to hear from one of you two first. So, Tariq, what do you think?
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm probably wrong, but just for fun, I'm going to say Imelda Staunton for The Crown. And, a couple reasons why. One is she has the Golden Globe IOU. If you recall, you're too young to remember this, too young to remember this, the two of you probably, but 19 years ago, she was nominated for Vera Drake on the film side, and I thought she would win. She was winning all the critics awards, and Hilary Swank and $1 Million Baby, she had won 5 years earlier for Boys Don't Cry. It just seemed appropriate for the Globes to go for Imelda Staunton, and Hilary Swank won, and that win kind of put her on track to the Oscar. And for Imelda Staunton, she was overlooked. She lost the Oscar, to Swank, and Staunton, she lost last year for The Crown. Everyone else who's played, the Queen in The Crown, Claire Foy and Olivia Colman, they've won Globes. So why not Imelda Staunton? So I'm thinking here. Also, it's funny, Helen Mirren, who won for playing, Queen Elizabeth, in The Queen, on, of course, the film side, Best Actress of 2006. She's in the category for 1923. I always think that reminds voters that, Imelda Staunton, hasn't won. And so I'm just going on a limb. I almost think Kerry Russell and The Diplomat could have a chance. They liked her. She won 25 years ago for Felicity. I think that may be her only Globe win, Kerry Russell, if I'm not mistaken. So they could go in that direction. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say Imelda Staunton for The Crown. Probably wrong, but it's a fun prediction, I hope.
Yeah. Marcus, what do you think?
It is a fun prediction. And you mentioned Claire Foy and Olivia Colman, and also Emma Corrin won in this lead category for playing Princess Diana. So they really love The Crown. I mean, I can't overstate that enough, that the voters love The Crown. I think they're going to give The Crown something a little bit later when we talk about supporting actress. So for this one, I do think it's going to be Succession, which means I have Succession winning series, actor, and actress, which is a little bit, not really what the Globes do all that often. They usually give something maybe series and one acting prize, not two, but I mean, it's the year of Succession. I think Sarah Snook has it. She actually won last year in supporting, or was that 2 years ago? I think it was the ceremony where it didn't air, so we didn't actually see her give her speech, if I remember correctly.
Right, exactly, yes.
In second place, I think it could be Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us. And also Emma Stone for The Curse. Someone told me the other day they were going to predict her kind of like as a long shot. Lots of fun choices in this category, but Sarah Snook is my pick.
I might have been tempted to go with Emma Stone if she had gotten in for, or if the Curse had gotten in for a series, gotten another actor in. It really feels like this is just sort of, we loved her so much in Poor Things that we're, here you go, here's another one. Um, I'm going with Sarah Snook. I was originally going with Kerry Russell. Under the theory of the hot new thing, it's the brand new show of, the Golden Globes have shown they really like her. I feel like the show has even though it aired in the spring, it sort of gained momentum going into the fall, since it didn't get a drama series nomination at the Emmys, but here it is with a drama series nomination at the Golden Globes. So I really think it's going to be close between those two, but I moved it to Snook because I realized that Succession has 8 acting nominations and I wasn't predicting it to win any. I had it predicted to win Best Drama Series and nothing else, which I actually think is one of those weird things that could happen at the Globes. But I finally decided, what, I think the Globes are going to give something to a Succession actor. It would be strange if they didn't after all those nominations. So
I think it happened last year. House of the Dragon won series and nothing else, if I remember correctly.
But it didn't have 8 acting nominations.
Right.
Like when you've got that many, it's kind of hard to. But it's got 2 categories with potential vote splits and strong competition in both of the categories where it doesn't have a vote split. So it could go 0 for 4 in those acting races, but I still don't think there's anything beating it for Best Drama Series.
Yeah, Daniel, one thought, Sarah Snook, the Globes, they often go for, for movie stars in TV categories. Is Sarah Snook, is she big enough a name to win here? She won on the supporting side, but I just have to question that if she's somebody who they really want to now just give, a lead prize when they have other great choices, who are bigger names, known for films as well. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
and speaking of movie stars, Helen Mirren for 1923. Remember last year, Kevin Costner won for Yellowstone. These are the same, one is a spinoff of the other, the same universe. So if they loved Yellowstone so much, why are we all discounting Helen Mirren? She's got the movie star factor, and they clearly love this universe.
True.
And they put her show in Best Drama Series. Yellowstone didn't even get a drama series nomination when they gave it to Costner. So maybe I should move her up from 6.
Right. But then who goes in 6? I don't even know who would go in 6th place. They're all.
I gotta leave. Sorry, poor Emma Stone. Not poor Emma Stone. She's gonna. I think she's gonna win.
Poor things, Emma Stone.
She's gonna be fine.
We all get this wrong. This must be really sad if all 3 of us, bomb this category. But it's tricky. You're right.
Yeah. So this is me moving Helen Mirren up to 5th place. There we go. That's much different.
And didn't Sam Shepard win at the SAG Awards for 1883?
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
So I mean, no one ever predicts when one of these shows wins. So I mean, maybe I'll go. Maybe my no guts, no glory prediction will be Helen Mirren.
I like it.
Moving on to the comedy categories, we've got Best Comedy Series. The nominees are Barry, The Bear, Jury Duty, Abbott Elementary, Only Murders in the Building, and Ted Lasso. I think The Bear has really benefited from the Emmys being postponed because it hasn't gotten old watching that show get awarded yet. Because we haven't really even seen it get awarded that much for season 1 because the Emmys didn't air and won't air until after the Golden Globes. So I think The Bear is still the cool show. And I think that's gonna win it for it. I think the other cool show that has a really strong shot here, I think, is Jury Duty. I think that's a real strong dark horse candidate. But I'm going with The Bear. It got 4 actors in. They love it. What do you think, Tariq?
I'm going to go on a limb here and say that Jury Duty does pull out that upset, being, sort of like the, exciting new choice here. And, I think that we'll get to this in a moment, but The Bear is going to win some other, acting awards. And so it'll be well, rewarded, the Globe ceremony. So there's a chance for them to do their classic, Globes, surprise, give it something new and exciting. I recall it's funny. We mentioned the X-Files earlier. I remember the first year, that it won. I remember like on the red carpet, the producer saying, we have no chance of winning. And they opened the envelope and the X-Files won. And so it's just like them, to do something which we don't expect. And so I'm going to say that Jury Duty, pulls off the upset, and The Bear is then rewarded in other major categories. Just my call.
What do you think, Mark?
The Globes do some weird things in this category. Mozart in the Jungle, anybody? Hacks won here and didn't win series and too many other places. Extras won here. I mean, you could be right that it's jury duty, and I am predicting the Bear right now because it's the hot thing. It feels new, even though this is season 2. But Ted Lasso, are we really going to consider Ted Lasso is sorry, my phone's going off. That it's gonna end this is the 3rd season it's been nominated at the Globes. It's never won. And I just part of me is thinking this is the last chance. If this is the last season, it could finally go to Ted Lasso. I'm just saying it's possible.
Good thought.
Possible, but I feel like if they were going to give it to Ted Lasso, they would have given it a little bit more. It only got in for Jason Sudeikis and Hannah Waddingham, I believe. They could have put in Phil Dunster for supporting. He had a really hot story arc in season 3. Yeah, I think Ted Lasso is going to turn out to be their Game of Thrones of comedy, the show that wins all the Emmys, but the Golden Globes are just like, eh.
That
they
is
just
a
kind
good
of move
comparison.
on for it. I could be wrong though. I mean, as you said, the Golden Globes do some unusual things at these awards and in this category.
Yeah.
Where I'm not expecting.
I was gonna say, Marcus, I think you guys should go with Ted Lasso. Add that to your Helen Mirren 1923 prediction. Let's have Marcus go for all the crazy long shots at the Globes. B-side. That'd be so entertaining, Marcus. So please,
you just
go
want
for
me
it.
to lose the prediction.
Yeah, it would be great for my average.
Exactly.
Moving on to TV comedy actor, we've got the nominees are Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, Jason Segel for Shrinking, Bill Hader for Barry, Steve Martin and Martin Short, both of them for Only Murders in the Building, and Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso. Whatever they do in Best Comedy Series, I think Jeremy Allen White is pretty safe for a second TV comedy actor win here. What do you think, Marcus?
I think so too. I think he's got this one, and he did win last year. But before that, Jason Sudeikis won twice in a row for Ted Lasso. So I mean, they clearly don't mind about giving someone a trophy back to back here. I guess if I was gonna predict who would come in second place, I don't know, maybe Jason Segel for Shrinking. I really liked Shrinking. It may just be a personal choice. It didn't get in for anything else. So I don't know, maybe not. But I just love Jason Segel. He's been working forever. He needs to get, his due in the spotlight at some point.
Yeah, Jason Segel actually ranks second for me, so I think you might be onto something there. What do you think, Tariq?
Yeah, I think Jeremy Allen White here seems safe. There doesn't seem like an obvious alternative here, which helps him. And it's funny, he was in, the Iron Claw as well, got more visibility that way. Now that he's doing more work in feature films, I think helps his cause here. So, I think Jeremy Allen White, I think he takes it for the Bear. It's hard to see him losing. That's my sense.
So we all seem to be in agreement on that one. Let's talk about Best TV Comedy Actress, where his co-star has actually jumped up from supporting in season 2, Ayo Edebiri, nominated with Natasha Lyonne for Poker Face, Selena Gomez, Only Murders in the Building, Quinta Brunson from Abbott Elementary, Rachel Brosnahan, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Elle Fanning for The Late, Great, The Great. So I think the promotion is going to help her. First of all, she didn't have to deal with Meryl Streep or Princess Diana. So she has this category not all to herself, because I think there are some potential upsets in here. But yeah, I think it's Edebiri here. What do you think, Drake?
Yeah, I think it's Edebiri, and I think that the fact that I'm not predicting the Bear for comedy series, for it to win 2 big awards here, I think that's good. Good representation for that show. And she seems like someone who'll be an exciting choice for the Tour Award, and great to see her get up there and give a speech. So it's kind of hard to see who would be the obvious alternative choice here. I mean, she's leading the odds right now, Edebiri, correct? I don't really see who else they would really go for in this scenario. So that's why I think she probably takes it.
Yes, she is winning the odds, and Quinta is in second place in the odds. And Quinta just won last year. It's funny when you mentioned the promotion from supporting to lead. I'm predicting 3 people to win in lead that were in supporting: Io, Sarah Snook, and Kieran Culkin. So that's just, something interesting that I didn't realize till right now. But yeah, I don't know if Quinta will win 2 in a row. I think our odds may be wrong on that, and putting her in second place. Maybe Natasha Lyonne, it should be higher on the list than we have her collectively at Gold Derby. But at the end of the day, I do have the Bear winning all 3: series, actor, and actress.
Yeah, I think Natasha Lyonne is the most likely upset here. Her show didn't get into Best Comedy Series and no other acting nominations, but really it's her and guest stars, so it's really all about her for the most part on the show. And we've seen before in this category they've given it to actresses whose shows weren't nominated. I believe Rachel Bloom won it for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Did Gina Rodriguez win for Jane the Virgin?
Yes, she won.
Yeah. So, and I don't believe either of their shows was nominated the years they won. So I think Natasha Lyonne could do that because Poker Face is the Natasha Lyonne show. And so if anyone beats Io, I think it's going to be Natasha.
Yes.
Plus it'd be something for Peacock, and the Globes always, we've noticed through the years, they like to give, a little something to every network, and this would be the Peacock Award.
Oh, by the way, when Rachel Bloom won for My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, recall who she beat out, who was the favorite, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You remember who it was who was favored to win that year?
Not off the top of my head.
Wasn't that the year of Jamie Lee Curtis and Scream Queens that she was going to win, and then Rachel Bloom won, I believe? So,
yes.
Yeah, sometimes they go with a new star as opposed to, like, the veteran, the big name. So,
yeah, they do like to anoint, the new, sort of like they did with Kerry Russell in The Year of Felicity. They often like to be, first at bat like that.
Right, yeah. And it's funny, that year that Kerry Russell won, that was actually my first time attending the Golden Globes. Remember, I was backstage in the press room, and when Kerry Russell came in, she was like so overwhelmed. She was so surprised, and her victory was kind of a surprise, I think. So, yeah, they definitely do that.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis was nominated that year for Scream Queens. I just called that up. She was also nominated against Gina Rodriguez for Jane the Virgin. Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Veep, who, if I remember correctly, she didn't win a Golden Globe for Veep.
Right, they hate her.
And Lily Tomlin for Grace and Frankie. That was the lineup that Rachel Bloom overtook. Yeah, an impressive list of people that she beat. So yeah, they definitely like to anoint the new star rather than go towards someone who they know very well a lot of times. Well, let's move on to best the long form categories: best limited series and TV movie. The nominees in that category are Beef, Fargo, Lessons in Chemistry, Daisy Jones and the Six, Fellow Travelers, and All the Light We Cannot See. So we've only got a couple of programs that were eligible at these Emmys, Beef and Daisy Jones and the Six. The rest will be competing at the next Emmy, so we don't know how the rest of the industry will perceive them yet. But I'm going with Beef until it loses something. I think it's going to be, it's the hot show, it's the cool show, it's critically acclaimed, and I think it's going to win the Emmys too. Am I wrong? What do you think, Marcus?
I think you're absolutely right that it's going to be Beef. And I would add this: if the Emmys took place in September and went overboard for Beef, series, actor, actress, writing, directing, et cetera, then I don't think the Globes would care at all about Beef. I think they would be picking something else. But since we did not see that juggernaut happen, we will see it happen at the Emmys on January 15th. I think that this is the Globe's chance to be like, Beef is our show. We're going to be the first ones to, go overboard and predict it in every single category, or bestow it in every single category. So I do have Beef winning. And I don't even know what's in second place. I mean, Fellow Travelers was super hot on Showtime. It's very new. It was just, November, December. So maybe is that second place? What do you guys think?
My sense.
Yeah, what do you think,
So,
Tariq?
I think it's almost irrelevant because Beef is definitely going to take this. So it's almost like it doesn't even matter. Why even obsess? Because Beef, I think, is just it's a slam dunk here. So
Yeah, I agree. There's no clear alternative, which is what makes it even stronger in this category, that there's no one program that you think, okay, if it's not that, then this. Some votes will go to Fargo, some votes will go to Lessons in Chemistry. Daisy Jones got both of its lead actors in, so they seem to like that. Fellow Travelers got Matt Bomer in, so they seem to like that. So, it's kind of hard to pin down one thing that could beat it. So I think
Mhm.
it walks away with that. Next up, TV limited or movie actor, Stephen Yun for Beef, John Hamm for Fargo, David Oyelowo for Lawman Bass Reeves, Matt Bomer, Fellow Travelers, Sam Claflin, Daisy Jones and the Six, and Woody Harrelson, White House Plumbers. Um, I think this is Yun, broken record here. Beef is, dominant here. I will have something different to say in the actress race. Spoiler alert.
Mhm.
But what do you think about this one, Tariq?
yeah, I think it's Stephen Yeun's. He has to kind of go along with Beef winning. It seems hard for Beef to take it, but not him. So I think he wins. Also, what's funny, he has a Globe IOU. He wasn't even nominated for Minari. He missed out.
Mhm.
Globes, and he went on to be nominated for the Oscars, of course, lost Anthony Hopkins for The Father. So this is their chance to actually recognize him, see him give, an acceptance speech. And plus, too, he has the international appeal as well. They're international voters. So, yeah, Stephen Yeun, it's hard for me to see him, anyone taking him down here.
Marcus?
I think it's Stephen Yeun, but as you were reading the list of nominees, the one that stood out to me, which would be such a Golden Globe thing to do, is Woody Harrelson for White House Plumbers. Someone who's a superstar, movie star, TV star, but he was snubbed by the Emmys. And we've seen before when the Globes are like, you snubbed this person, we love this person. We're not just going to nominate him, we're going to let him win. That happened with Matt Bomer for The Normal Heart. So I could see it happen, but Stephen is my pick.
Right, yes. No, Bulmer, he was nominated for the Normal Heart, correct? He didn't win, correct? At the Emmys, correct?
At the Emmys, he
Yeah.
was nominated.
He
Yeah,
was
and
favored. He was a bit
right.
surprised he lost, and then he lost to it was Martin Freeman he lost to, correct?
Yeah, for Sherlock.
Right, yes. Yeah. So then when he came back to Globes, that was actually kind of a surprise him actually winning there after he lost the Emmy. So yeah, no, that was fascinating.
Is Maura Tierney another one? She won the Globe after being snubbed at the Emmys, I believe.
Yeah, she won for the affair. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, and it would be interesting actually. Come to think of it, if the Globes will, knowing that the Emmys are going to air so soon after, if the Globes will want to strike out on their own and be like, oh, this is probably going to win the Emmy, let's give it to something else. Or since they're first, they might not care.
Hmm.
They'll let the Emmys be stale, and we'll be the first to give it to Beef. We'll do the
Mhm.
Succession final season
Right.
victory lap. We'll do the Bear. Um, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see how the timing might affect their decision making, if at all.
Mhm.
Now for Best TV Limited Movie Actress, the nominees are Ali Wong for Beef, Brie Larson, Lessons in Chemistry, Juno Temple in Fargo, Riley Keough in Daisy Jones and the Six, Rachel Weisz in Dead Ringers, and Elizabeth Olsen in Love and Death. Now, a couple in there who were eligible for these Emmys but were snubbed. Rachel Weisz and Elizabeth Olsen. So that's interesting. Plus, you've got two actors who are eligible for the next Emmy cycle, Brie Larson and Juno Temple. And I'm actually predicting Brie Larson. She's a huge
Oh.
star. Beef is going to be well rewarded elsewhere. They nominated it for Best Limited Series Movie. So a lot of times the Globes in the past, if you get that corresponding program nomination, you're very strong potentially for your acting category, which is true for a lot of these women. But yeah, I think Brie Larson is, and that show was really cool. I think it's been doing well with awards groups. So I'm gonna give this one to Brie Larson potentially, but Ali Wong. If Beef sweeps, that will not surprise me the slightest
Mhm.
bit. What do you think, Marcus?
I think there's going to be a beef sweep. So Ali Wong is my pick. And I think if I had picked, an upset here, it would probably be Juno Temple for Fargo. She's getting some of the best reviews of her career, and it would also be kind of like a goodbye a hug trophy for Ted Lasso as well. But Ali Wong, I think, has this one locked up.
Tariq?
Okay, this is interesting. Marcus, somebody, well, as far as beef sweeping, I have this thought in my mind. Okay, so they're giving beef, best, the limited series, award. They're giving it, best actor, to Stephen Yeun. It's like let's say you're at a restaurant, and the first person orders, they order, a T-bone. The next person orders, they order, ribeye. So it's like two, red meat dishes there. The third person's like, okay, I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna order the Dover sole. So I think the Globe voters will actually go in a different direction here and not go for Ali Wong because awarding beef again, that'll be too much red meat, if you will. And rather than Brie Larson, that makes sense. I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and say Riley Keough because a hot, young, like sexy choice here, like an up and coming star. I mean, she's actually been pretty big the past recent years. And remember, Daisy Jones did very well. Got in, nominated in major categories. And remember, she's the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley, who died a year ago. And the chance to see her get up on stage and give a speech and probably, pay tribute to her mother. I mean, that's a moment that they know will be just so moving and so bittersweet. I think that it would be hard for them to pass that up. So I know it's a long shot, but I'm going to say Riley Keough pulls up one of the biggest TV upsets at the Globes this weekend.
That would be a big one. I love that we're all picking someone different in this category.
Yeah, I think this is one of maybe the first category we've talked about where we're all on a different page. Actually, that reasoning for Riley Keough is really strong. The Globes have historically loved to give awards to second and third generation stars.
Right.
They love Nepo babies. And the fact that Riley has experienced such personal tragedy so recently, they might want to give her a celebratory moment at the Globe.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
You haven't quite convinced me, but you've convinced me to move her up.
Okay, right. Yes, Daniel, it's funny. Remember the first year, Angelina Jolie won her for Golden Globe was actually for George Wallace. She won in the supporting category for George Wallace before she won the Globe for Gia, before she won the Globe for A Girl Interrupted. And I think that her, her father, John Voight, that was I think a factor in her win. I mean, she was great, in George Wallace. She lost the Emmy to Amir Winningham, but yeah. So I mean, they do have that history, and so it's easy for them to see them going for Riley Keough and making that great moment happen, on this big award show.
Now, TV supporting actor. This category combines actors in movies, miniseries, dramas, and comedies. These were split up into series and movie miniseries last year, but they've been crunched together again. So every supporting actor and actress on television has to compete against each other. So for TV supporting actor, the nominees are, again, you've got three actors from Succession: Matthew Macfadyen, Alexander Skarsgård, and Alan Ruck. Plus, you've got James Marsden for Jury Duty, Eben Moss-Bachrach for The Bear, and Billy Crudup for The Morning Show. All of these nominees have a corresponding program nomination, so no help there. But I think the cool choice is James Marsden, and I think he's going to be hard to resist. So I'm going with James Marsden here, with Matthew Macfadyen a close second. But yeah, it's too good a story, that the Jury Duty kind of story to challenge, I think. What do you think, Tariq?
Yeah, Daniel, I think you made the right verdict there for Marsden. I'm agreeing with you. So we have a jury that's almost unanimous here. Yeah, I think he is like the hot choice, the cool choice, the interesting choice. I mean, with three Succession actors here, them splitting their votes, that hurts them. And again, I mean, whether or not Jury Duty wins, in the comedy field, this is a chance to give it, a major award. And yeah, and Marsden, of course, he's been in films for over almost 25 years now. He's been a pretty big star. A chance to give him an award, see him get up on stage, give an acceptance speech. So yeah, I think Marsden. I think that's going to happen for the Globes.
I don't object with either of you. I actually went with James Marsden. I switched to him this morning. Sorry, Matthew Macfadyen, you were my pick until this morning because I realized, since I was doing Succession in series, actor and actress, I wasn't also going to do it in supporting. I mean, it could happen. I just don't. I mean, didn't Angels in America win 5? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
This
Angels in
has happened
America
before.
won every single category it could have possibly won. But that's such, you have to be Angels in America to do that.
Right. So, and then everything you guys are saying, I mean, the three-way vote split. I mean, Matthew is great, but Alan Ruck was also amazing. And Alexander Skarsgård won this category, what, 5 years ago for Big Little Lies. So you can make a case for all of those Succession guys. That's why I think James Marsden has this one. And I'm not predicting jury duty for series, but I mean, it could happen. This could be one of those cases where a show wins series and takes an actor along with him. So I want to at least get one of those two if this happens.
Right.
Yeah, I could foresee jury duty being this year's like British Office, and kind of
Right.
having that, you know, that's that unusual surprise kind of winner.
Right.
TV supporting actress, you've got Golden Globes queen Meryl Streep, the most awarded actor in Golden Globes history. She's up against Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown, J. Smith Cameron for Succession, Hannah Waddingham for Ted Lasso, Abby Elliott, a surprise nominee for The Bear, and Christina Ricci for Yellow Jackets. I go back and forth in this one. You know, if it weren't for how many nominations they gave Only Murders in the Building, I wouldn't think necessarily that Meryl Streep's name recognition itself would be enough to get her the win. But they clearly went overboard for the show in go 5 nominations, all the lead actors, her series. They clearly loved the show. And they love Streep under normal circumstances. So while I think Elizabeth Debicki has a strong chance, and she's, I think it's going to be one of those two. I got to go with Meryl here. What do you think, Marcus?
I just did a photo gallery with Misty Holland. This is Meryl Streep's 33rd Golden Globe nomination. So you could look through the gallery and see every single time she was nominated and which one she won for and which one she lost for. So, I mean, yes, it's very, very, very possible that she will win this. And she actually does a really, really good job of playing this kind of a little bit crazy, theater actress with a secret. But my pick is Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown. The voters love The Crown. It's won, I think, 7 trophies over the years, including all those actresses we mentioned earlier. Gillian Anderson won the supporting actress category 2 years ago. So I really think if The Crown is going to win something, that it's going to be Elizabeth Debicki. I know Tariq is thinking more like Imelda Staunton, but I think this is it. And Diana completely dominated part 1 of this final season. I mean, she was the lead of those episodes. Everyone else was just like a guest star on the show. So I think it's her.
Tariq?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Debicki. I think that she is, that is the artsier, choice. It's the artsier show, of course, The Crown. And she has a lot of international appeal, Elizabeth Debicki, and the performance was so good. I think that they'll go with her. I just think that it seems like the more the typical Globes choice, and Streep. I mean, she's won so many times. It's funny. I guess she's won almost every category, but not this one. She's never won supporting actress. In a TV series, limited series, or TV movie. If I'm not mistaken, she's never won this category, so it would sort of help to complete her Globe collection. But I think
honestly, how often do you put Meryl Streep in a supporting role in anything these days?
Oh, true. Exactly right. Yeah. So maybe in that regard, remember when she won, for example, she won the film supporting award for adaptation, best supporting actress in motion picture for 2002, which was kind of a surprise at the time. Even she was totally shocked that night. And I guess she's never been nominated for like a regular, TV series on the she's never done a regular TV series before, if I'm not mistaken. She's been nominated for the Golden Globes. So for her to win this award, it would complete her collection. But I actually think the Globes will go for the more sophisticated, the more serious, the more highbrow choice. And I think that's Elizabeth Debicki. It's funny. There've been years past, for example, Remember the year where Michael J. Fox for the Michael J. Fox show was favored to win Best Actor in a TV comedy series, and he lost to Andy Samberg for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Or the year that, for example, that Rachel Bloom, she won for My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, beating out Jamie Lee Curtis, for Scream Queen. So we see this at times where a newer, more exciting story beats out someone who represents the old guard. So that could happen here, I think, with Elizabeth Debicki, winning for The Crown.
And Meryl, she actually was up for Big Little Lies in this category. She lost to Patricia Arquette for The Act a few years back. I also wanted to add, Daniel was mentioning how all the genres are combined. The last time somebody from a comedy series won the supporting actress race was Jane Lynch Glee. That was 13 years ago. It has gone, since then it's gone to two performers from dramas or, miniseries, limited series, whatever. So people predicting Only Murders in the Building, Meryl Streep here. Just remember that in the back of your head. Like, they usually don't go for comedic performances.
Yes. But sometimes they do. Remember last year, Tyler James Williams winning for Abbott Elementary in the supporting actor race, which was kind of a surprise. So occasionally it happens.
Yeah. 30 years ago, remember it happened with Julia Louis-Dreyfus winning for Seinfeld. But I think it was unusual at the time. Seinfeld was a huge show and it kind of swept the globes, that ceremony. So, but you're right, Daniel. It is, pretty rare. And Marcus, so that does seem to work against Streep, and we could see someone else take the prize.
I will say though, if we see, and I think there is an outside possibility that J. Smith Cameron wins if Succession just runs the board. So if they give this out early in the night, and it's like the first Succession category, and it goes to J. Smith Cameron, watch out! It's going 5 for 5. Like I don't see it losing anything if it wins this. No offense to J. Smith Cameron, but she's in our odds. She's the least likely of the Succession actors to win this award, to win her category. So yeah, if she manages to win for it, then everyone's winning for it, I think.
And then there may even be a tie, and we'll see, Alexander Skarsgård and Alan Ruck and Matthew McFadden all win supporting actor.
Yes. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, now I thought Tom O'Neill told me that they changed the rules. They don't allow ties to the Golden Globes anymore. That's what he told me. I don't know if that's true or not. Do you know if they?
I don't know. Does anyone know when was the last tie at the Golden Globes? How long ago was that?
Now, I do recall, I guess it was 25 years ago when, for example, there was a tie in the supporting actress category on the TV side when Faye Dunaway won and Cameron Manheim won for The Practice. And I thought I've actually pointed out, brought up the possibility of ties happening. And Tom told me they don't allow that anymore. But I don't understand how they would do that, because if there is a tie, then how do you break the tie before the show? So I feel like, it has to be possible, but I don't know. Either of you, have you heard about that by chance? Do you know anything?
I don't know. I would have to consult the rules, which I downloaded at one point. That's how I figured out. It's like, oh, wow, there are going to be 6 nominees per category instead of 5. I didn't realize it at the time. But yeah, I did not see that part in the nominations rules.
I've Googled it, and the answer, according to Wikipedia, in case of a tie, the winner is the one that had the most votes on the nomination ballot.
That makes sense.
Yeah, fascinating. Okay, right.
That is fascinating.
Yeah. Remember when you were, Frasier and Mad About You, they tied at the Globes one year, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, Best Actress in a Film of 1988, there was a 3-way tie with Shirley MacLaine and Sigourney Weaver and Jodie Foster. So in the past, that was actually fun back in the days when there were ties. So it's too bad they took that away, because, that was always fascinating.
Well, just watch the Critics' Choice Awards. They have 5 ties every year.
If there's a surprise at the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice will scramble and be like, oh, it's a tie. You both win. Rounding out the TV awards is the brand new category for stand-up comedy performance on television. So we don't have any history to go by. Obviously these are stand-up specials. They're not nominated for series or limited series or movie. So this is just the one category, and the nominees are Chris Rock for Selective Outrage, Trevor Noah for Where Was I?, Amy Schumer for Emergency Contact, Ricky Gervais for Armageddon, Sarah Silverman for Someone You Love, and Wanda Sykes for I'm an Entertainer. It's really hard to figure out how to judge this or how to make a prediction here since we have no history to go on. I'm just going with Chris Rock because the whole aftermath of the slap, his comeback special after that. Um, I think it's the buzziest, but honestly, it could, Ricky Gervais is a former Globes host. Maybe they want to, pay it back and give him another Globe. But it's hard to tell exactly how to reason this out. How about you, Tariq?
Well, I mean, they're mostly journalists voting, and you have to think that they will be dying to see Chris Rock get up on stage, accept an award, and make some reference, to that famous, Oscars, infamous Oscars moment. So, as journalists, it'd be shocking to see them go in any other direction. I mean, that's just my guess. I mean, if they don't, I'll be like, what were you thinking? I mean, you totally missed out on a major, award show moment. So that's why I have to think that Chris Rock probably takes it.
Marcus?
I think it's Chris Rock as well, and he was actually asked to host the Golden Globes and he declined. So I do wonder what that was about. Maybe they didn't offer him enough money, but he's still. The slap is still talked about all the time. I think people want to see him get up on stage, and you know what? If he wins this, he better mention the slap, either in passing or directly. I want him to mention it on the stage.
Definitely, yeah.
And Trevor Noah is also a possibility, but the thing about Trevor Noah is that they're going to get to see him a lot. He's nominated at the Emmys, he's hosting the Grammys, he's nominated at the Grammys, so they don't need to put him on their stage necessarily. And that's the Golden Globes for television. Do you have any closing thoughts, Marcus?
Yes, the host. I'm hoping he does well. His name is Joe Coy, not somebody that I was quite very well aware of. So my expectations are low. So Joe, blow me away. And I'm looking at this list of the stand-up comedy performers that are nominated: Gervais, Trevor Noah, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, Wanda Sykes. I mean, all 6 of these people better present a category. I mean, maybe even together come out and do something, because this is the prime crop of comedians working today.
Any final thoughts, Tariq?
Oh, actually, quick thought. It's funny. I mean, the Globes actually put Ricky Gervais on the map, did they not? I mean, when he won the Globe for The Office, that was at the 2003 ceremony, if I'm not mistaken. Won for Best Comedy Series, and he won for Best Actor. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Jennifer Aniston who presented that award, and Matt LeBlanc was nominated. I think many people thought Matt LeBlanc would win, but then it was Ricky Gervais, and he gave a speech, and he was kind of taken aback. He didn't really know what to say. So it would be fitting for them to want to see Ricky Gervais up on stage. And if there were no Chris Rock, he might have a chance. But yes, and then really the Globes, they're notorious for surprises, for shocks. We have all these new members, and on the TV side here, they could just go crazy in 1 or 2 areas, and we don't know what those categories would be, who those names will be, and that's what makes the Globes much fun to watch. Just not knowing what might happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they keep it interesting. That they don't simply do what's what they think other groups will do, or they don't fall into the same patterns that other groups are going to fall into. I hope it's a good, interesting, surprising crop. And if they are surprising, I want it to be surprising in a way that nobody gets it right, and not just me. I don't get it right. So
very interesting. Yes.
let Elle Fanning and the Great win. Let let Christina Ricci win for Yellow Jackets. These people who are lower down in our odds, who so like 12, 15 people will have bragging rights, but I won't, and it won't hurt my average too much.
But those 12, 15 people are probably picking like the 5th or 6th choice in every category just to say I called a long shot.
With that, I want to thank Tariq and Marcus for joining me for this slugfest, and I want to thank everyone for watching. It's been a pleasure, and we will be back on Monday to talk about what happened at the Golden Globes. whether we were right or wrong, and what we thought of the show. So, and what it all means for the award season ahead. So we will see you then. Thank you for joining us.